Hello and welcome to the Berkcast, the How to Train Your Dragon podcast. I'm your host, HC, and with me are...
Wolf.
And Ian.
And man, are we back early? Like, this was 3 months, maybe, since the last season? Because here we are again with Dragons, the Nine Realms. AKA Universal is trying to squeeze everything out of this franchise. So before we actually talk about...
disturbance that I wasn't on the last Berkcast, so they were like, we need to
I
get this
was-
one out real quick.
I was just about to say, Ian, before we get into season 3, you went with us for the season 2 review. So what are your thoughts on season... You were with us for season 1. People can go back to catch up on that. What are your thoughts on season 2?
the episode
Oh
where
my
I called Ian a main character vanilla loving bitch. Yes,
Wait, what?
Whoa,
you forgot
Sorry, I
that.
don't
What?
think I'm. Maybe. Wait,
You said
what?
you liked
What did you
Tom.
say? Oh, did I?
Yes,
Oh, shoot.
it
Well,
was one of the episodes
mean-
we've had you on before.
are you so sure this wasn't about like Dax or something? Like this was.
I've done it
This
live
was
on air at
Tom.
least once. I can do it again.
Oh no.
Oh,
Never mind.
well, guys,
No,
guys,
after season 2,
I
I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of made up drama that season. That is
Yeah.
the summary.
seems about right. Seems about right with what we talked about. Let's say that, if season 1 was just boring and uneventful, then season 2 was just not like just a bunch of stuff that didn't go anywhere, and poor writing, poor characterization. Both seasons tried so hard to be the movies and the previous show. Just Nine
Season
Round.
2 had
I'm
its
not a fan of
moments.
them.
Season 2 had its moments.
I guess.
Yeah, and by
the
that,
thing
and
is-
by that I mean, it has Buzzsaw and nothing else. And that one
No.
time, and that
I
one time,
listened to the season 2 Berkcast, and I don't agree. I hate Buzzsaw. I hate him.
I
It's
love
just-
him.
listen. Just because I say I like him doesn't mean it's for the legit reasons. For the record.
Oh no, I do. I
I-
actually mean it. I love him.
I
Uh,
hate him. Just like Eugene. Where did he come from? But we'll get into that probably because
Yeah,
he's
we'll
certainly
get
done
into
some
the
development.
one thing I kind of want to say, Wolf, if you want to link it in the description, do it. But since then, there's a YouTuber who's been reviewing the Nine Realms seasons up until this point, on YouTube. And on her season 2 review, she actually pointed out that one of the 3 guys that Buzzsaw is working with, the animators forgot to make him black in one scene, even though he's black in the rest of the episode. How in the hell does that happen?
Buzzsaw.
No,
No, not Buzzsaw.
not Buzzsaw
What-
I
himself.
mean,
There's in season 2 he has some loggers working with him. There are 3
Yeah,
brothers,
yeah,
and one
yeah,
of the brothers is black. In
Yeah.
a scene, they forgot to just make the dude black. Like, he was actually not black. They just messed up there and
Oh,
made a
no.
mistake, and someone forgot.
That is just like, if you need to show that some either Universal doesn't care and they just rush the animators to get the product out. This is like the pure proof that something is going on in there. But okay, that was season 2. Let's get into season 3. I'll just say it's the best season, but it's not saying anything. It's still not good, if you ask me.
I was about to say. I mean, I guess you're right. It is the best season, but yeah, it still felt the same with the other episodes where it just felt like, oh my god, when is it ending? And then it's still like 7 or 8 minutes left. So I'm like, oh god.
Wolf?
I guess I still get to play the nice person to both of your horrible
Cynicism.
people. You're awful, horrible, mean people. I like this
Am
season
I?
a lot more. I thought I will agree. I do think it is the better season out of the 3 we've gotten so far. And I'll admit, there's a lot more moments from this season that I personally enjoyed compared to the first 2 seasons. I'll go so far as to say this is what I was hoping season 1, combined would have been.
Like the first 2 seasons would be.
Yeah, this is what, or at least like a season 1. This is what I was hoping that would be. We just need a couple of episodes. Yeah, it's more Dragon World. It's more them exploring it, and all you would need is like a couple of character introductory episodes, and I think this would really fit that really well.
It just felt like they kept repeating, like discovering the same zone though this season. They didn't make much progress. Like the first 2 episodes, I think they made progress, and then the rest are just like.
I'm personally fine with that because it shows them kind of learning more and more as they go on, and you can kind of devote a little bit more time to each area as they kind of learn about it and how to explore it.
How many more seasons is it gonna get? Are they gonna be able to finish that story?
That's exactly something I want to point out.
Hidden
because
World
when
has
I
18 zones. We're gonna spend 1 season per zone, apparently.
Listen, but you know something. Just regarding that, for one, something you want to do a new realm each season. Okay, not the worst idea on paper. Again, on paper. But what still annoys me about this show is that it's called the 9 Realms. Only in season 3 are we starting to understand this title. And I don't care if you think it's nitpicking or whatever. This is bad storytelling. This is bad writing. There's no other way around it.
Technically, we've known it since season 2, the last couple episodes, I guess.
They never refer to it to realms, though. They never say realms till this point. 14 episodes until they use the titular word. That's a problem.
But they do mention that there's the gem, what's it
crystal.
called? Whatever, the gem, the crystal area and the fire area. I think they mentioned that.
No, they only mention it. They only mention it this season.
It's the end of the 2nd season because that is the cliffhanger for the 3rd season. That was it.
But if you ask me, that is a big flaw that we are
way too late.
3 seasons in. That's 14 episodes until the title of the damn show makes any sense.
I don't know. I feel like I'll say yes. You're nitpicking.
I don't think so. I mean, here's the thing, right? It's 13 episodes in, and only on the 13th episode they're like making a cliffhanger of this realm thing. That is bad, considering we've been on the edge in Race to the Edge since like episode 3, I want to say.
3 or 4, It's called Race to the Edge. On the 3rd or 4th episode, we are on that damn edge.
I mean, arguably, though, we've been exploring the realms, quote unquote, since, they found the first realm, which was where Tom met with...
That was our entire point.
But they never referred to the realm.
Not all at once.
No.
Our audience can't take it.
The thing is, that is what we've been saying about this season. This is the only season where they've been exploring that. The other seasons were mostly the human world, and now we need to protect the dragons from the human world. It wasn't about the realms. The realms have only been discovered and really explored this season.
Which I will agree with. Yes, this is
just like this is another one of those things when I say that in the season 1 review we did of the 9 Realms, looking back, I think this is the first time ever in doing this podcast that I look back at the recording and I'm saying, man, I was way too nice, because season 1 is just bad for forget How to Train a Dragon, basing any kind of show. It's just not good from any way you're looking at it.
I was surprised you were so nice that first season. I was like, oh wow, I really expected him to rip into it.
No, looking back, I was way too nice, and I think I made up for it with season 2. And season 3 also made me mad, but not as much. The reason I'm saying it's the best one is because it's the one where I say, okay, you have a decent idea here and there, and not. But I think now going into this, anything else non-spoiler you want to say?
I think they've slightly, not necessarily upped the animation or anything, but they've known how to deal with their budget more. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, the first season, it was very obvious. There was like, oh my god, this is awful. The second season was better, but still, yeah. But this season, I feel like they've really like kind
I
of figured
think
out how to
also,
deal with their budgeted animation.
and also, you know, they already have the models and the environments, so
Also,
they,
yeah,
At the very
more
least,
budget for the rest.
yeah, I'll agree. It definitely feels like they've hit their stride and they're kind of they've nailed down their pipeline at this point, and they're getting it, situated to where I think you'll continue to see small improvements, if not major improvements, from season to season moving forward at this point. At least I would hope so. But at the very least, right, it definitely feels like, yeah, they're hitting their stride with this season.
Oh my god, that first moment with the helicopter and
wait,
stuff, that was so painful.
Wait, we'll get there. I just because I'm not mentioning this yet because that's I'm counting out the spoilers once we'll go over the episodes.
Well, that's not a spoiler, but anyway.
Well, either way, two things I want to point out, and so the first thing is gonna if you listen to our, to our season 2 podcast, Wolf for some reason believes that Tom is a descendant of Heather.
Yes, I heard that.
I'm sticking by it.
Well, you're sticking by it, but now we have this, and I quote, this is a legit thing. Tom's surname, Collersen, is formed of the Danish color, which means headache, and the son, sen, meaning son of. So his name translates to son of headache. And I'm pointing this out because people made that connection since season 1, and it's still being dragged as a fucking mystery. It's not a mystery anymore. Stop it.
And I'm telling you, they're wrong.
The thing is, I don't mind that much.
Listen, have you ever heard of a red herring, HC?
Have you heard about looking at the fact?
Actually, if he is a descendant of... Oh no, if he's a descendant of Heather, I hope he's not a descendant of Dagger. That would be awkward.
No, that's Buzzsaw.
Buzzsaw?
Oh my god. You know something, considering he has a lot of Dagger in him, I won't be surprised.
I don't know about that one. But
the point I just want to say is that, again, this mystery is shoved into our face. How is Tom related to Thunder? Dope Eddie Dope. And it's like, people know this. People fucking know this.
You don't mind it that much. There is the entire possibility that he's not Hiccup's descendant whatsoever, and they're just leading people on with the name.
So I'll say this then: if he's not Hiccup's descendant,
if he's
then
not,
okay.
You have to come back here and say you were right, Wolf.
Sure, and you know what? I'll do it.
I want a parade.
Wait, so you know something? If I have to come back on this podcast and say I'm about this, then it will be because if they do this, then it's the most stupid mystery ever, and the worst thing you can do with a mystery is make it predictable. So again,
I don't mind it that much. Because
we're gonna find out that
I do because the show cares about it so much.
We're gonna find out that he's Snotlout's descendant, and I'm gonna come back on, and everybody's just gonna be, I was right.
Yes.
You said Heather, not Snotlout, though.
Snotlout Heather doesn't matter. In anyone other than Hiccup is what I'm saying.
You know, I'll say Snotlout then. Sure.
No, you can't steal that from me. Get out of here. This is my thing.
Fine. I'll say Astrid, which is basically the same, but whatever.
Honestly, if there's anyone who is descendant of Snotlout, it might be June and her brother, because her brother says like really Snotlout things. So
Snotlout never like canonically has had like a partner. I know that Tough and Fish Legs got together because of the homecoming.
You said
actually, the
tough,
end of her
it's
train wreck
rough.
of 3 as well.
Ian,
Rough.
Ian.
Sorry, rough. so that's who I meant. But I don't think Snodlout actually canonically has had a partner. So I'm gonna go for Fish Legs. He's a descendant of Fish Legs.
There's a comment that can be made here, but I'm not gonna make that joke because it's wrong.
Okay.
Whatever, joke. Though, let's just get into spoilers. So I guess if you don't want spoilers, this is where we close the video. Go watch the season. If you liked the previous two, you'll like this one. If you didn't like the previous seasons, it will do little to change your mind.
It might. It's, again, I still stand by, we've all said it, this is the better season, and I do think I personally found a lot more to enjoy out of this season. And I'll get more into why as we get more into spoilers, because it would spoil some stuff, and I'm not going to do that, because I'm kind.
You could skip season 2, though. just skip it.
I'll say skip season 1. Skip season 1, not
skip season 2. And little spoiler for season 2, but we've already talked about it. Just Eugene and Buzzsaw or a thing. Just go to season 3.
Well then, spoilers are starting in 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so I actually have a question. I have a question for you, HC.
Talk to me.
Who has the better character, right? The just character in general. Eugene or Winger?
That's like picking between your own children. Well...
We're glad you agree that it's Winger.
Yeah, exactly.
But
seriously, you can't actually say that Eugene has more character than Winger, considering Eugene has 0 character except for edgy teenager who's always on his phone and has a big ego. That's the only thing. It's just stereotype. That's his character.
It's better than little catchphrases and being an asshole to your friends. Ergo, Eugene wins.
I mean, Eugene's also an asshole to his friends, though.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
Well, he didn't bet their own house in order to win a bet. I'll say that.
Okay, but that was his character development. He was like, sorry, I kind of got angry because, okay, whatever. We're not talking about Rescue Riders.
Guys, jokes aside, okay? If I really had to choose, if I really had to choose, both of them are not good, are not properly written, right? Both of them are not good characters. But
who has more character?
But I'll say this: both of them. I guess you could say both of them kind of live and die by the context of the show. And I think regarding their roles in the show, both of them are pretty terrible in what they represent. But I'll say this: Eugene does have some sort of development. Winger doesn't.
Oh, does he now? Really?
No, he doesn't.
No, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. We're probably gonna go to season 4, and he's still gonna be an asshole. So.
Well,
I doubt he has much character development.
I'll get to what I mean with that when we get to that episode. But on that note, I just want to say 2 things. When I was starting this season, and they could testify, I was texting my girlfriend, and I was texting one of my friends, telling them, "It's time. I'm gonna do this." They questioned why, and I said because I made a commitment to a podcast. So here we go.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Our fans demand we cover it. All 5 of them.
So how much? And then they'll just be, so both of them are basically just ready for when I'm gonna start losing my mind. Okay. First frame of this goddamn season, and I'm pissed. Yeah. Really? This is how you start. This is how you start. This is the middle finger. No.
Okay, hold on.
And if you want this, No, because now I'm transferring to Ian, who started watching the show, and the first thing he did was text me and say, "Am I in the first episode? This is how it starts."
I literally I started watching the episode after the intro. I was like messaging H because I knew he'd watched it already. I was messaging HC. Did I miss an episode, or does it really start with Tom in a suit?
So I'm going to be nice and say there's a lot I really like about this episode. I'll get to that in a minute. I want to say first, I agree with Ian. There was like a moment in time where my brain just went, wait, no, I've missed something. This is wrong. I've watched the wrong episode
There
because
you
it feels
go.
like I'm missing something. I swear I
thing is,
missed
I
something. I
watched-
went back to season 2 and watched some of the last episodes and kind of skipped through them like, okay, no, that's right. That's right. Okay, yeah, that's how that ends. All right. Go back to season 3, episode 1. What?
Yeah,
I've missed
and again-
something. I had to have.
Yeah.
I will admit, it definitely feels like that at first. Like there's just this.
The thing is,
It just feels like I've
why I
lost
was-
something somewhere that it just doesn't
yeah,
exist.
why I was confused as well is because I thought I had seen a screenshot on, I don't know, Dreamworks website or whatever, which was talking about season 2 with the screenshot of Tom wearing that suit, and I was like, okay, I might have missed something, but I guess that was just, I don't know.
I swear, I think
No,
we've Mandela affected ourselves. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah,
Mandela
I think
effect.
so.
I think
not
we've
because
Mandela
it's,
affected
and
ourselves.
it's like it's literally started there, and me being a a nitpicky fan aside, that go, oh, this is a fucking middle finger to see this freaking blonde idiot in this armor. But okay, that aside, what kind of a start is that? There's no build up, there's nothing, and if you two were confused by this, that's a fucking problem. You can't tell me it's not. This is a problem.
No,
this is bad writing.
I will agree that's not good. That's not a great start because again, it felt like there should definitely have been something to this at first, and there wasn't. It just
And
kind of
especially
comes out
because
of
they
nowhere.
say, oh, this is. They also say, oh, this is like the fourth suit Alex made to, and it's like, what the fuck is
I think it was the
then?
6th season. But yeah.
The forgotten season.
Yeah,
No
I
one
know.
knows.
The thing
No,
is,
I know what
was so
happened to it,
great-
Ian. Cartoon Network Warner Brothers and Discovery deleted it. That's what happened.
Ah, that's it. Now the thing is,
I have to go there.
you know how
Topical.
streaming services work, especially HBO Max. They just delete it. But
Topical.
topical. No, but I honestly, that was super confusing. I don't know what I want to say anymore. But yeah.
I'll say this.
What I want to say is with Race to the Edge, it was super nice because it was like Hiccup was trying out all these different iterations, and it was kind of in the background as well, right? It was just in the background, kind of just happening, and it just
actually,
slowly
let's know
developed.
that.
They could have just done that.
Yeah, because something. Let's talk about this shit for a second. When we see Hiccup in his armor in How to Train a Dragon 2, what is that? But at the same time, we established it's been 5 years. So obviously in those 5 years, I could say, okay, something happened, and the armor is still not perfect. And when they wear their armors at the start of the third movie, again, a year has passed. They developed, and after there was this entire thing with Drago's cloak that the riders saw him using it to protect himself from fire, they adapted. There's connection. There is progress. This is not progress. This is just lazy. This is it's one of an attempt to be like, here's a bone for you fans, but all it does is just make me angry, and I want to spit fire at the damn people.
So
I think what would make us less pissed if it just had started in their cave, or even in that crystal place, right? And there would have just been some suits laying around, or scraps or whatever, and just actually them testing stuff, and Tom maybe putting a suit on or whatever. That would have made us a lot less angry.
Maybe see them, right where we left off in the previous season. See them attempt to go into this new realm and suffering from heat. So therefore, we need an armor.
I don't mind that much, considering what series sometimes do as well, is like just basically refer to like, oh yeah, we've had so many failures, and then just like cut to several failures or whatever. Even that would be fine, but they just don't. They just don't.
So yeah, I'll agree, right? It definitely, if there's supposed to be a time skip here, there's no feeling of that. And unlike like looking back at Race to the Edge, where they did, as Ian has mentioned, have a lot going on in the background that you could see and notice and pick up on, and that they would use in later episodes. To a degree, there were some problems here or there and hitches, but this show just doesn't have that. There's just barely anything going on in the background that you can see doing that makes you say, when something pops up, oh, that thing, that's how that, and there's just not any of that at all going on in the show. But before I get too critical, I do want to be nice and say, you know, I had mentioned, right, that this show is what I kind of wanted season 1 of Nine Realms to be. And I think this episode is a great example of that. It's, you know, we see my boy's back, Monstrous Nightmare. We see him come back in, and we see them learning about the Monstrous Nightmare, and we see them trying to figure out what to do with this new area of the, you know, hidden world that they've found, right? And again, that's what I wanted to see from the show. Them exploring it, them coming to understand the old dragons or new dragons. We'll get into that in a bit as well. There's some stuff I want to say about that too. But you know, this is what I wanted. I wanted to see them coming at this, you know, all the dragons and all of that world, right, that we know from, like, you know, ancient times, and that we as fans are familiar with. You know, how does that compare to modern tech with modern problems and modern solutions, right? Like, that was the, you know, unique pull that they could have had here. And this is a little bit of that. You know, you get to see modern solutions coming at, you know, dragon problems, and you get to see that melding of modern tech and modern solutions with dragons.
I think this is what they want to. Yeah, here's the magic word. A little bit of it. It's there, but it's not enough.
And getting into that, right? This is what I want to say. This is, I think, the show's biggest problem, is that they wanted to do. I feel like that's what they want to do, but they didn't want to alienate fans completely, or they thought they might, you know, have no one pick up on this show if it was all new, right? If it was all new characters and there was no references back to old characters. Like, I don't want to come, like, I really genuinely did not want to come into season 1, and I still don't want to do this, right? Come onto this show and talk about Nine Realms and look back at Riders of Berk, you know, Race to the Edge, or just the old Dragon Riders, Hiccup, Astrid, Snotlout, the twins. I don't want to compare. That's what I don't want to do. But I have to compare. I have to compare Buzzsaw to Dagger because there's so much of that character in there. It's hard not to say that, because that's what they're trying to engender, is that feeling, I feel like. And I wish they would.
D'Angelo has a lot of just fish legs,
right?
Like,
in the first season. This season, at least, he starts to feel separate, but it's only in season 3 that he's starting to feel that way.
If anything, I think he was the most fish legs in this season. And
I disagree. So too, I think there's... I don't feel like, you know, fish legs wasn't necessarily... I guess a little bit, especially in Race to the Edge, but to me, fish legs wasn't as, like, specific to, you know, taking care of animals and dragons. Technically, that wasn't really his thing. Learning about them, sure, but again, like Race to the Edge kind of muddies those waters a bit, I'll admit. But to me, I felt like D'Angelo felt more like his own character this season, especially in regards to him seeking, you know, his father's approval and stuff like that, and trying to just, you know, be the caretaker, right?
But on that note, we come back to the entire problem with the show, that we're looking at all the characters. Alex is the only one that's kind of her own thing, and she's like, point, you look at Tom, you look at Tom, he's the Hiccup. You look at June, she's kind of the Astrid. D'Angelo fish legs, Buzzsaw Dagger, Eugene. You could argue Snotlout.
I do like, though. Again, though, I like that, you know, you have Eugene and June, who are siblings, and they're like this combination of the twins and Astrid and Snotlight.
That's
Again, you
actually
can
something that I
see,
like.
yeah,
That's actually something I want to credit the show because, I last season where, oh, Eugene is going to find out and he's going to mount, the other head of Wen Wei. But actually, no, they don't do this. They give him his own
yeah,
dragon.
that
So,
was a
you know what?
unique choice. I give them
Yeah,
credit
so
for
you know
that.
what? Cool on you, show, for actually not going the obvious way around and giving and just letting June take over the two-headed dragon. Cool, I accept that, but at the same time, this is the only thing you really do new with these new characters, and again, and now that we also talked about this that throughout. Besides the Skrill and the Razor Rip in the previous season, this show was apparently too afraid to use species of dragons we already know, nightlights aside. And suddenly here we get the Monsters Nightmare
I
again. We
like
get
that though. That's what I
Grunkles.
wanted. The only thing old that I wanted from this show was these new characters meeting the old dragon. That's the only thing I wanted.
Yeah,
And seeing
and
them
Sort of.
learn about something that I'm already familiar with. How do they come at it? How do
yeah.
they understand it, right? That's what I
And
wanted to
that's the
see.
thing, though, that I feel
The
like at this point they kind of miss their shot because now suddenly you are using the old dragons again. I'm not complaining, but at the same
listen,
time,
I don't
I
mind it.
get it.
listen,
Exploring the realms, I get it, but also it just comes off as weird at this point. It something
listen.
doesn't focus.
I
We
feel like it
can't
would make.
keep. Go ahead. I'll wait.
I feel like it does make more sense that the older dragons are more deep within the hidden world, considering
That's
they
fair.
were up when all this went down, and then they went into the hidden world. So the older dragons that were up in the world already would be more careful of going out.
That's fair. That's actually a unique way of looking at it. I like that. But
Yeah,
also,
it's
in my opinion,
it's
we can't. My turn, HC.
sure. Go ahead.
Queuing.
We can't keep making new dragons. I'm sorry, but we have 2 spider dragons from this show already. Not counting the
Yeah.
other spider dragon we had before from the graphic novels. We can't, and the designs are just. There's one new dragon design that I really like this season. Maybe 2, but definitely 1 in the final episode. And I'm just sorry we can't keep making new dragons because we're getting into that realm of I love my boy Trubbish, but we're getting into that realm of sentient trash bag Pokemon. And it's like we've got to stop at some point. Vanillix is over there and he's looking and he's watching this and he's like, it's my time. No, stay over there, you dumbass ice cream cone Pokemon. No one wants you or likes you. And if anyone says they do like you, they are a liar. And I don't want to see the ice cream cone or the trash bag of How to Train Your Dragon. All right? I just don't. No one does.
You're really angry about that
I just want to say something. You misunderstood me. I'm not saying we need to keep coming up with
I know you're not. I'm just stating that fact, though.
Yeah.
I'm fine with a new dragon here or there,
this is
but
not my problem.
we're getting to that point.
It wasn't my problem, though. My problem was that we can use the new dragons, the old dragons. So why go to the trouble of making not dragons? What?
Again, I think they should make a new dragon here or there, but it should be a little bit more rare that we see it, especially like, all right, I agree with Ian. It was cool to see a bunch of new dragons at the start because we're seeing different stuff. We're seeing like, these are more curious dragons, more, dragons that maybe, whatever, what doesn't matter. Like, I'm fine with seeing new dragons at the start. I'm fine with the writers having brand new dragons and not anything old.
Yeah.
What I'm not fine with is that, again, like I come back to the Fault Ripper. Why couldn't that have just been the Whispering Death? That would have been fine if it was, right? There would have been nothing wrong with that.
Or Wu and what is it? Wu and Fei? I think.
Wu and Wei.
Wu and
No,
Wei.
Wu and Wei,
Like,
I'm fine
Wu
with
and Wei.
being a new dragon, right? I think, again, the writers should have new dragons, so we
It's
don't
literally
to
just
try and
a hideous
separate it
zipper
more.
back. though.
That's my problem, though, right? Like, that's I think, the biggest flaw of the show, and it continues to be, and it probably will be. I hope it won't be in the future, but it probably will be, is that they want to set themselves apart. They want to be something new, but yet they want to still cash in on all the fandom love and all the fandom nostalgia and everything. That's why we have, Toothless 2.0, even though he's more like a Toothless negative 0.5, but,
Oof. No, I don't mind
That's
D'Angelo's
mean.
dragon
That's
as
mean.
much nowadays.
Too mean.
I think I said that he was basically just a Gronkle, a reskinned Gronkle, but I feel like that's fairly unfair to them now.
To who
I
now?
think D'Angelo's dragon is
D'Angelo.
fairly,
So Plowhorn.
fairly unique still.
Yeah, Plowhorn's like, it's different. It's unique enough.
Yeah.
Wu and Wei, not so much. Thunder, definitely
So
not so
I
much.
just want to point out that we are like 44 minutes into this podcast and we only talked about 1 second of the first episode.
You're wrong, good sir.
And
We
we
are
got-
36
Well,
minutes
actually,
in.
we've been skipping all over this season.
This is
really.
true. We've been picking out a few bits and
But,
pieces here or there from different episodes. But episode
I
1,
will,
fairly
for
good.
episode one.
Episode one. Yeah, fair
Okay, here's where okay, besides that one frame which made me lose my mind, and it's documented, there's another thing that kind of like, okay, we have the Monster's Nightmare. Cool. So now Tom wants to use the Monster's Nightmare to test the armor. Why not use one of the dragons that you have then? I know, I guess if it can withstand lightning, it can withstand fire.
Lightning's not the same thing as
actually,
fire.
it probably can, because Hiccup's armor can do the same thing, and that's Hiccup's armor.
I think you're
No,
just being
I
too
don't-
angry about the armor. The armor's fine.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong.
I
Right,
don't mind that.
stink.
I don't mind their I don't mind their testing method either, considering it is heat, and none of the dragons can really produce that amount of heat. I think.
Yeah.
So I feel like
Lightning?
bring a no, but
No, like that is the point.
that's
It's
still
the idea
different
that the
from
heat is the
fire.
problem.
Yeah. And
Okay.
I mean, also
but-
with that, they have shown that across more episodes that the heat is the problem, not like anything else. Like they need to bring a lot of water in, they need to bring the suits in, they need to, not spend too much time there. I feel like that's fair.
So he brings the Monster's Nightmare into the hideout, and he tries to bribe it, and then there's this entire thing of I shouldn't have used you for this and that. I am a bad, and then the Monster's Nightmare kind of just starts running amok in the facility. And this entire moment just felt like a kind of a setup to get Tom on his back and like, oh, his gel is fireproof. We can use that gel to create the armor. It all felt contrived. I'm sorry. All felt
The gel, but dried up, is what is fireproof, which doesn't make that much sense, I don't think. But
it works in continuity. I'll accept that.
The thing is, canonically, they have used Monstrous Nightmare Gel for Hiccup's sword, so it doesn't make much sense that it dries up and is fireproof. I don't.
Well,
Hiccup's smart.
Okay.
He knew that it would dry up, so he made a solution to where it wouldn't. Because Hiccup's smart like that.
and also,
must be it.
there's this entire thing, that they established that sometimes the fire on Inferno can die out, and it needs new canisters, for it to work. So there's that.
Yeah,
true,
see?
but
Hiccup's smarter than
still.
you. He built a submersible.
No, but that still means he has canisters which never dry up. Anyway, whatever.
Again,
But
he figured out how to make he figured out, how to like combine different chemicals. Like Hiccup was doing chemistry, thousands of years before chemists ever were.
Yeah. And
The dude invented a submersible, all right?
I think also the other stuff that needs to take into account. There's a difference between making the sword and making the armor. They are going for the armor. I can accept the fact, okay, it dried up after once you put us in the armor. and it stitches everything out, I can accept that. Now,
I love how
when it comes,
he's making the
can
armor
accept.
instead of the sword. Later episode.
So, yeah.
oh,
Well,
we'll get
yeah,
to that.
but
We'll get to
know.
that point. But okay, but this is like the A plot. Then we have the B plot, which is Buzzsaw and Eugene basically doing a Seth Rogen comedy, because you can't tell me that's not how these two are. These are
That's
two
fair.
people
That's
drugged,
fair.
stuck in the woods.
I enjoyed
And
that
This
part.
episode, didn't it? Oh yeah, I forgot.
So you said you hated Buzzsaw. How do you not
Yeah.
love
Yes.
this man?
Oh, it's just, oh man.
You must
the thing
be
is,
someone
I didn't...
who disliked Dagger too, didn't you?
Yes, but the thing is, I
Oh.
disliked him in Riders and Defenders of Berk. I didn't dislike him that much anymore in Race to the Edge, since it felt like he had a purpose and kind of developed more. Buzzsaw just kind of feels like the kind of guy who just... But I'm just afraid that he won't change at all, whatever experience he gets, and just
I don't
stays
know.
crazy.
I
and
kind
just
of
stays...
want characters who don't change all that often sometimes.
I don't know. It's just he's so
I
over the
just
top
want
and
to
so
say two
so
things.
dumb, but not dumb. But he is dumb. But
He's
he's
a little
not
bit
dumb.
of everything.
But
That's why he's the perfect
is
character.
dumb. No, that's not why he's the perfect character. That's why he's awful, because he is some of everything.
I will say
Whatever.
this: two things.
better than Eugene.
One, I just love the fact that now, after Wolf discovered it for me and after everyone talked about it, I just love the fact that it's Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Like, everything just clicks because both of them are dumbasses. It's like, it's wonderful. It's perfect.
Yeah, for those who
This-
don't know, the person,
One is becoming insane.
the voice actor for Sora in Kingdom Hearts is the same voice actor for Buzzsaw in Nine Realms.
That's what you were talking about. Okay.
Yeah, I think
and
it's
then
Macaulay
and then there's
Culkin,
this
right?
point
That's his
where, like,
name?
Haley Joel Osment.
Haley, oh, fuck me, I got it awfully wrong. Macaulay Culkin
Something
is the
like
voice
that.
actor for Sora.
Oh,
No.
No, yuck. No,
I don't know
not
where my
Macaulay
head
Culkin.
is. Fuck me. It's early in the morning for me, all right?
Okay.
And also,
But
you've just watched
and
Nine
the other
I
Realms.
also have just not. I've just watched
there's this point
words.
where Eugene kind of falls down like a ledge, and Buzzsaw's like, I should save him, but I won't, and he keeps going. It's like, okay, that got a chuckle. Good.
Nah, I don't know. All of Buzzsaw just annoys me.
Wow, you were just
Don't know why.
unfunny.
I don't. Am I?
You
wasn't
no
this also the
respect for
episode
good
where?
comedy.
Isn't this also the episode where D'Angelo records the voice on his phone? Are you crazy? And
Yeah.
just replace it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that was
that
funny.
joke.
That was funny for
That was
3
funny
times.
on the
and
first time. That was
Yeah.
funny on the first time, not when they keep redoing this all over and over and over. You know why it was funny when Ninja Turtles 2012 did that? Because they only did it one time and didn't overdo it.
I feel like it was funny when he did it like a couple minutes later. I was like, ha, nice callback. But when they kept doing it, I was like, oh god, this is gonna be the entire episode.
It was like this one joke some writer was so proud of that they're like, let's keep putting it in.
It would have been funny if they used it in like a later episode, but they never have. So that would have been funny.
Yeah.
You gotta admit that would have been
No,
funny.
it would have been great. Like the
Pulls it
callback. You
back
go
up.
for a couple episodes where nothing happens and all of a sudden pulls it back
Yeah,
up.
but
Like that's how you do
but
repetition.
that would
Yes.
require thought, and that's something they obviously don't want to do in this show.
No, that's unfair.
Being very mean
That's
right now.
unfair.
No, these producers suck, and they know that they suck. Anyway, moving on to episode 2.
You say these producers suck. One of these producers, if I'm not mistaken, is the same producer of Race to the Edge, Riders of Berk, and Defenders of Berk.
Rephrasing, not the producers, the executives, the people who actually order this show, Universal and Dreamworks.
I feel like
Yeah,
you're
I'm not
being
talking about-
selective here.
I'm
Like,
not talking about
just because someone
John
made
Tell
something,
again.
just because someone made something good doesn't mean they can't make something bad.
No, but hear me out. That's exactly one. You're right. You're completely right, and there's a good chance that, you know what, this is not their creators. But at the same time, I am willing to bet if they actually had time and they had a budget, they could have made something woke here.
Yeah, I agree.
But
agree.
they don't.
Because
and if you need proof for that, just keep in mind it's only been 3 months since season 2.
Same thing.
Yeah. So and let me tell you, animation is an industry where the animators are being fed shit to make this work. I am so sorry for them there for the rush production that this might have done.
I feel like, I mean, Race to the Edge had 13 episodes for one season, right? I feel like, when did the first season of Nine Realms come out? Was it December something?
It was December 2020.
December 2020. Yeah, okay, then it was pretty. Yeah, Race to the Edge is pretty quick as well, actually. I'm gonna look this up. I'll get back to you.
Not 3 months, though. Not 3 months.
No, but my point is that if it's 13 episodes, then, and we've already discussed that it feels like, at least you did, that it was like season 1 and season 2 is basically just one.
Season 1 was of Nine Realms was December 23rd of 2021. Season 2 was May 5th of 2022, and then season 3, what we're on right now, is August 18th of 2022.
Yeah. Let's just take like season 1 and season 2 and 1, right? So let's just assume that was December, right? Because I feel like they probably had the story, but they might have like not finished animating it, And
that's fair.
Race to the Edge was also 13 episodes. Race to the Edge was 13 episodes, so together that would also be 13 episodes. That seems fair.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you say
in that case, Race to the Edge actually had season 1, 26th of June 2015, and season 2, 6th of January 2016. So actually, it isn't that bad of a timing.
Yeah, 3 months compared to 7.
It's 13 episodes.
And also, you want to play that? Fine. Season 1 and 2 of Race to the Edge were ordered at the same time, as well as seasons 3 and 4. So
this might also. You don't know how the production stuff is handled. This might as well.
So you don't as well. We can throw bullshit in the air, and we don't really know.
The point is is that it's potentially
same amount of time.
Yeah, it's not a huge difference in time, because again,
and even then, season 3 was also in June 2016, and season 4 was then again in February 2017. So it kind of matches.
Okay, fine.
But at the end of the day, it still doesn't excuse.
The thing is, considering this is an entire argument that no one can really get to a point, let's just move
John
on.
Telegan, get back in touch with us and tell us the truth.
Exactly. Tell us the truth. Oh my god.
Yeah. John Telegan, if you're listening, Dreamworks doesn't deserve you. You're a good person. No,
so we can't be nice to him after we've shit all over his show.
From what I know,
Race to the Edge mostly.
He takes the criticism well, from what I've heard, and something.
I just want to point out, I've been trying to be nice. Just want to point that out. These two have been the mean ones.
Okay, I mean,
guys, we need to keep moving. Episode 2, right or die.
Oh my god, it's only episode 2.
Anyway. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's not a lot to say about this one. It's neat. We get to see a bit more June.
I have a lot of things to say about this one.
I mean, all you're going to say is, I hate this, I hate that.
No.
Hey, you have something nice to say? Get ready, folks.
I have something nice to say, but it's not going to be followed up by something that's nice. But okay, let's start with the good stuff, because here's the thing. One kind of a small thing. Here's something you can do when you actually put thought into your concept. How to train a dragon in modern times. So what do? They can actually have water bottles when they go on this trip, and we can see them having little moments with the dragons, letting them drink as they fly. That is a cute moment. It's nothing major, view. But you know what? That shows that when you have the time to think about the stuff, you can make something not necessarily fantastic. It doesn't elevate the show so much, but again, it gives you that little moment that you see these guys care for each other, and that you see some modern thing in this dragon show. Okay, cool. And now for the big stuff. I like the idea of June and her mother. I like the idea that we have June as this mythology nerd, that she's really into this kind of stuff, and her mother is like, you need to grow up and actually live in the real world. I know that I know that's the thing that people that shows have done, but I like when shows tackle it because that is important for kids who grew up thinking that what they like is lame, or what they like doesn't matter, because every kind of thing you experience can help you in some way. So I like the fact that there's a positive outlook on it, and that we can see that, yeah, just because you're into mythology or fiction or whatever, that's not a bad thing. That is a good thing. Embrace it. And it does help June in the end. She uses some of that knowledge to help her. So, something, kudos. That's actually a nice moment. And there's this point, where she and Tom kind of have a moment where they talk. And yeah, of course, it's the not Hickstred. But at the same time, something, these characters actually talk. They have conversations. Like June wasn't an interesting character to me until now, but that actually gave us some angle. So nice, cool. I like that. Same time though, doing the message of your interests are gonna help you, and do this like power fantasy stuff doesn't really work when she's into mythologies and all of that, and dragons themselves are mythologies. It seems like there's like a line that was blurred over here. Not the end of the world, but I feel it kind of took away from how powerful it could have been when they're like, wait a minute, she's riding a dragon. She's fighting other dragons. Like, this is real science in this world, right? So, whoops.
Yeah, I feel like it was fairly relatable, trying to cling on to mythical stuff and fantasy as a comfort. Yeah, that was nice. I don't know what else to say about this episode, really.
Again, I mean, it continued on, like, you had a decent episode for the first one, and it continued on another decent episode. Like, there's nothing to really complain about, I think.
I'll say that I also liked Feathers and Alex messing up with their minors. But then again, there's just this like, what the fuck show that, you have this scene of D'Angelo and Alex just, swimming around in the facial. It's like, the what? What does this have to do with it? Is this fan service? What does this have to do with anything?
They were just filling up the time. What do you do? I don't know. Well, actually, Alex should have probably been working on the suits, but
everybody likes to go for a good, cool swim, Water's fun.
Course. And when you have dragons to heat it up, that's great.
And
actually,
also,
don't have dragons to heat it up. But,
and this is the point where I'm gonna go, annoying fanboy. What the fuck is this shield doing here?
What is what doing here?
The fuck is the shield?
That's not the shield.
It's obviously not the shield because it doesn't look like it. But who made this? And they're like, "Wow, what is this made of?" Like, obviously it's Bronco iron, and we know it. But again, just context. What is this shield made out of Bronco iron just doing in the middle of the hidden world?
I mean, again, right? Like we've been, they've been setting up. Like they found the spearhead before this, right? They've been setting up that apparently someone came to the hidden world before, like, and it was definitely the Vikings. And again, we're gonna find out more of like, oh, the Vikings apparently came back to the hidden world. Someone from the, from possibly.
Hiccup simply visited.
Yeah.
We know that Hiccup visits.
Yeah,
Well,
the question is,
time,
we know he visited once. We don't know about other times. And again, but this is one of those things that, again, it's not necessarily in benefit or against the show, but it's one of those. Guess we'll have to find out in the next seasons. And it's like, but until this point, again, it's just one of those things that you put in there and you expect me to just go with it when no, I expect some clarity. If I'm going to get a title,
I will
fine.
agree. I think it would have been, again, right? This comes back to it's fine for us to relearn, to watch people relearn about dragons, right? I would have been perfectly fine if it would have been them discovering Gronkle Iron and learning what that's like and is about and what it can be used for, right? That's when I come back to, again, like the problem, the show, the bigger problem with the show is they want to have this thing of, hey, you remember this, right? You remember that, right? Hey, you remember this character or this kind of kookiness of that character, or you remember, this thing. And it's like, I wish they wouldn't do that, because it's fine to do that, but you have to set yourself apart, and they've not done a good job of setting themselves apart. Like, it's fine if the shield's here, but it would have been way more interesting if, you already have the spearhead. Find something else that's different, but that can link back to someone having been here before, if that's the story you want to go with. But if you want to involve Gronkle Iron, let these kids discover Gronkle Iron, right? Let them learn about it and come to understand it. That way, us as fans can be like, oh, it's the thing. They're doing the thing. They're going to discover the thing. I want to see how they work with the thing now. This is cool.
Exactly.
We don't get that.
This is my problem, that they are kind of saving the answers for later. And it just creates this impression that they are trying to have their cake and eat it too. You can't do that. If you want to put that shield there, fine. But again, there are other ways to tease us about it, especially because, as far as I remember, we don't really know what happened to the shield in canon. Like,
it's not the shield isn't important here. It's just a shield. Again, the point here is Gronkle Iron, to give you that idea, to remind you of Gronkle Iron. That was the point, right? To
fairly believable that they just made more shields for Vikings after discovering that. Yeah. It's fairly believable.
But then again, how is it believable? Yeah, but how is it believable that the dragons disappeared for a millennium? Where did the Gronkle Iron come from?
Again,
well, they made it, and some dragon, dragged it back into the hidden world. I feel like that's fair. That could also just be a thing, just some cargo that was, laying around, and
which again, it kind of brings us back to the entire thing of, we may get answers in the future. We can't really say anything until we know the answer.
Again,
that is exactly my point. They make no progress. They make absolutely no progress. Just make more progress. Like, they just keep dwelling onto this human world and in the same zones.
This is what I said. This is what I said. Not just regarding the Tom Thunder, who are Tom's ancestors thing. It's just there are a bunch of things they set up and they never resolve. It's not going anywhere. And if I have to wait until season 9 to finally have all of the pieces connected, that's not good. That's not fucking good.
No.
Don't worry, Ian.
Don't worry, Ian. You're having this.
Don't worry, Ian. It's okay, because we'll come back for season 4 and we'll just be in an entirely new realm with no explanation of how we got there. We're just there now.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
joy.
Oh no, he's open. Like, he's obviously opened up that. Whatever, we'll get there. But yeah, no, my bad. Also, actually, you're wrong. It's not season 9. It's season 11, because as we figured out, they're taking their sweet time to discover all the 9 realms.
All I'm going to say is that I'm going to be really happy when season 4 starts, and we're going to see Sonic the Hedgehog riding a dragon. hey, it makes as much sense as this season happened.
Well,
so what the fuck?
It won't be season 11,
I know.
Ian. It'll be season 18 because it's 2 quote-unquote seasons.
Shut up, the both
Yeah,
of you.
you're right about that. Yeah, it's season 18.
Yeah, we had
you're right.
2 seasons for the Crystal Realm, and now we've had 1 season for the Fire Realm. We'll get season 4, and it'll be the Fire Realm.
Oh, it's gonna be another season of the Fire Realm. That's the boringest one.
Well, yeah, I mean that's what we're doing. It's 2
Should
seasons.
Should I mention the game that's coming out? Should I mention the game?
There's a
no,
game.
we'll.
I didn't even know there's a game.
Okay, we should get through the episodes, to be honest.
Okay.
Episode 3.
We'll talk about it. Episode 3. Episode 3. Empty fireworm nest. I'm just gonna fucking say it. These kids should listen to Alex more because she had the idea of setting up the failed missile drill thingy.
Listen.
And every time June is like, no, don't do this. And guess what ends up saving the day? That fucking alarm. If she used it at the first, none of this episode would have.
Alex is best.
You gotta agree. That is a bit excessive.
It is, though. I mean, it absolutely is. That girl's gonna snap one day, and she's gonna do some major crimes.
You know, I want that.
She's
Let her
definitely
kill
a black
everyone
hat hacker.
Like, I mean, definitely, she is definitely the character who is set apart from all the others and is her own thing. But you can absolutely say, for a fact, one day that girl gonna snap, and she's just gonna do some major crimes.
What I say, she's gonna be a black hat hacker. She's gonna hack into Wall Street and absolutely crash it.
I think she's gonna be worse than that, considering a later episode.
No. Listen. Whenever people are going to sponsor Surfshark or any kind of VPN in any YouTube video, they are going to use her face.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say props again to the writers and everyone for just, she has 2 mums. It's fine.
Yeah, and it's nice to actually get to see them on screen and doing stuff. Yeah, like that was actually nice. We talked about that before.
No, but I just want to give extra credit. They're literally not doing anything about it. They're literally just, that's a thing.
Oh, no, but we had talked about before, right? Like, if they show them, it's not enough. You have to do more with them. They have to be around. And, hey, they're doing that.
Yeah.
Clap.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really nice.
Something that was honestly kind of hypocritical, I feel. It's like, in the first season, they're like, our daughter is very sheltered and she doesn't have any friends. And then it's like, our daughter is where their friends over there. It's like, make up your mind.
Well, again, they missed her. Again, I thought this was a sweet episode. It was nice to see her with her mom.
I get it. I get it, and it's sweet, okay? I'm not going to say it's not sweet because, when they have those real-ass conversations, that's actually kind of sweet. But, again, you have to keep in mind that not even, you could argue, not even 2 seasons ago, these mothers were kind of praying for her to interact with the world a bit more. So I get that they miss her, but it's also like it's coming across as like, are you ever satisfied?
No, I think that's fair,
HC.
considering she's basically just been gone for like 2 weeks straight, probably, if roughly. I mean, it's fair that the parents are like, oh wow, I mean, we didn't mean this. Didn't mean
Ian,
fuck off forever.
We had, she made 4 fire suits. She's been gone for months. That was how long the time skip was.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Oh yeah, okay. So something again, one of those things where the time skip is not clear at all.
It's been a year.
Yeah,
it's been a year, Alex. You haven't been home.
Yeah. Okay. If it's been a year and she wasn't ever home, I'll buy it. But again, as the way the show presents it, okay, something going out with your friends every few days, I get it that you kind of wanted, family time, but also you kind of wanted her to get out more. So I'm just saying. But okay.
Topic.
Other topic. Let's talk about what the fuck is Buzzsaw doing in that forest until he shows up. Like he's like disappearing for a few episodes, even though he's on Icarus. He's on the Phasia. And like suddenly in some episodes, just like what the fuck is he doing in those days where he's not showing up?
Is he like eating
trees?
I guess.
By the way, is only the research facility. I just want to mention. Icarus is the research facility, and then I don't know
that's
where they
that's
are
why
exactly. But
that's why I said Phasia afterwards. That's
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Honestly, when it was episode 6, I believe
Listen,
we'll get there.
someone just needs to
I was
make a
honestly
fan
wondering.
animation of just him out in the wilderness doing his thing, and just have it be, you know, different dragons appearing up and him just missing them every single time. But him.
I mean, later on when we see him
Honestly.
again, I'm just like, what has he been eating or drinking this entire time?
Again,
Again,
someone
you know
needs
what
to make
I
a fan
thought?
animation
You know what
showing
I
those
thought?
things.
Maybe,
Yeah.
and you know what?
And it's just the most wildest shit.
No,
Absolutely.
listen. Whenever we don't see Buzzsaw in this season, he's basically Robotnik at the start of the second Sonic movie, where he's just stuck on this planet filled with mushrooms, and he's going insane trying to make coffee out of them and playing chess with a reflection of himself. Yeah, that's what he's fucking doing.
Oh,
Change me.
I want to imagine, right, that Buzzsaw is just out in the forest. He's been killing gronkles and eating gronkle meat. There's a reference for you.
Is this
He's
your way?
like,
Is this
it's
your
like,
way?
what is this weird
is this your way
bull
to
thing?
say
This
that
must be something
it-
Icarus
no,
made.
No, Wolf, is this your way to reference that you still thought Dagger ate Shadow Master? Because that's not true.
No, I don't think. I
not
know.
okay. No, that's
We
not
see him
okay.
in the-
You're just wrong.
Wolf,
That's a fake
Wolf,
Shadow Master.
Wolf, that's not okay. You need an intervention. I'm sorry, that's not okay.
Listen,
Wolf
I'll just go
says
hang
a
out
lot
with
of things.
Buzzsaw in the woods. Me and him will be fine.
Oh,
Eating
absolutely.
And as
But
long
the,
as
the other thing,
and please
Duty.
let them see. Somebody actually no, make an animatic of Buzzsaw in the woods, and he sings "Lost in the Woods" from Frozen 2.
No.
Give me that.
Make an animatic of Buzzsaw in the woods eating Shadow Master.
No, fuck you.
Thanks, I hate it. Besides Shadow Master definitely being dead after like this many years.
It's Shadow Master's descendant. Finally, someone
Anyway,
ate that damn
moving on
dragon.
with the so Eugene finds out about the dragons, and he's being a dick about it.
I mean, he already knew about the dragons,
Yeah.
I guess, because he.
Yeah, no,
kind
but
of
now
put
he
one and one
actually
together.
sees one.
He's seriously stupid, but somehow he put one and one together with the freaking dragon he saw and his sister's notebook.
I do like their addition to the fireworms here. This is something we've not really seen before, that they kind of have this hive mind sort of deal, and that they need one another's heat and warmth to be able to live, otherwise they'll die. I like that a lot.
Have we not seen that before?
I don't think we have. Maybe
Haven't we seen that in Race to the Edge?
We've seen them in the Rest of the Edge, that they kind of have a hive mind. Yeah.
Did we? I don't. It's been so long.
Yeah, because they took what's his name? The black
Hook
one.
Fang.
The no, not Hook Fang. The black fireworm.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Right.
No, that was a different dragon. Whatever.
Well, the point
Because
is
that was the one where they had the dragon that was eating the fireworm nest, right?
Yeah, but that was the different
because
one.
Because there was thing like in Defenders there was the episode where they brought Hook Fang to her, to the Fireworm Queen, so that she could, reignite his flames and keep it alive. And in Race to the Edge, they had the episode where they had to protect them because Snotnote felt like he owes the queen.
I don't think they've done anything specifically to show the fireworms needing each other's warmth, or they would die, though. Like, I don't think they've shown.
It was set up.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's fair. It's fair.
It's vague, but you're all right. Like, they're set up there for it. But I like that we're getting more confirmation of that. We're learning more about the dragons. Like, that's neat. Again, it goes back to that thing. That's what I wanted to see, right?
Sorry, I just remembered the name of that dragon. I think. Whatever.
What is it?
I think it was Midgard, but I'm not entirely sure.
It could be.
Whatever.
I think. So we had that.
The other person who knows about dragons now is Alex's mum's question mark.
It's vague. It's vague. Like they saw one, they agreed to let it into the wild, not knowing it's a dragon, it's debatable if they actually.
We're definitely building up to the parents learning.
But we're building up to it. Yes.
I'm not gonna be surprised when there's a subgroup of the parents. For example, I think not
Tom's
Wu's
mom is
parents.
gonna figure out.
Tom's mom's is gonna know. Alex's mums are gonna know.
I'm even going to say the
dad,
entire.
maybe.
Yeah. No, I think all the parents are gonna know eventually because the show really tries to push for like through the corporations and studying up for the wild and kind of thing. So it's gonna happen. I have a feeling that this entire show is gonna lead to shutting down the facility and eventually killing the business because they're going to protect the dragon.
Or it leads to capitalism ho.
No, but
I hope it goes to
is,
like Rate Corp finds out and it's just capitalism ho. Advantage of all the dragons, use them horribly.
You think
money.
Universal and Dreamworks goes into the show? Haha, Wolf.
No, but what I want to say is I'm not going to be surprised if the parents at some point are just going to say like, "Oh yeah, we knew, but we wanted to protect the dragons from the corporation, so we haven't said anything."
If they do that, then something. I'm gonna throw something at the screen because that is bullshit.
I mean, when the parents do find out, right? Or I assume it's going to be a thing of the parents finding out because there's going to be an episode. There would have to be an episode. I would be surprised if there wasn't an episode of D'Angelo's dad being like, "It's not safe," rah rah rah, and refusing to let him have anything to do with dragons or any of them.
Yeah,
I firmly believe that would be an episode.
Anything else to say about episode 3? Because I think we kind of covered everything.
I think it was sweet getting to see Alex interact with her moms and getting to see more of Alex because she's best girl at this point.
And but I will still say, fucking listen to her even if the false missile alarm was a bit excessive. That's what they ended up doing anyway. So
I'm just going to point to a later episode.
Yeah, it had a reason for not being done until then, because it was very much a last resort, okay, fine.
Again, right.
Kind of thing.
But it's still the thing that saved the day, so...
It's still the thing that saved the day, but they did have a reason to not do it earlier.
Whatever.
Episode
Moving
4.
On.
Yeah,
boring!
With 3 out of 3 good ones. So, episode 4.
Something? I'd say that the only one that they'll go like maybe halfway good is the second one. So okay, but the episode 4. Oh, look at this! We have a D'Angelo episode, and it's basically the Fish Legs episode. Skip.
It was fine. It's just like you had D'Angelo kind of seeking, that confirmation and that approval of his father, which is cool, which is interesting. Not something you have with Fish Legs. It's nice to have that. The problem is it very quickly devolves into something that we've kind of already seen, which is D'Angelo second guessing himself and feeling like he's not a part of the group and shouldn't be. We've kind of been through that already. I would like to see something more. It's fine if it's him dealing with Gronkles.
Thing of like, you know what, D'Angelo? No, leave it to us. So he goes home, and then Alex goes to give him a pep talk. So he comes back, and the other side's like, "For fuck's sake!"
Yeah, I'll admit this one was definitely the weaker episode so far.
We now have the catastrophic Quaken.
Yeah, and Gronkles.
And Gronkles, true.
Yeah, you know what? I appreciate that. If we bring the Grunkle, so we also have this dragon because basically Edge did establish connection between them. They're they're kind of relatives. So
and it's neat because we start learning more about the realms and how certain dragons don't do as good in other realms and don't need to be in there.
that's another thing that's kind of interesting.
That was a different.
But why not do anything by that? This show, I hate how
they did do something with it. No. The Gronkles can't eat the crystals. It makes them sick.
Yeah, that was a different episode. Yeah. That was a different episode with that. Was that this episode as well?
Yeah, that was this episode. That's when we saw that. That's like
because they ate the crystals.
Yeah, they were eating the crystals and throwing up.
Yeah, they did it another time as well then. Yeah.
Yeah, like
I think in a later episode.
I think in a later, yeah. So, but again, concept that's interesting. Are we gonna do anything with it? Of course not. What do you think this is?
I mean, again, they do stuff with it though. The next couple of episodes is them doing stuff with that.
Yeah.
You see the flamethrower dragons, coming into the crystal zone, right? Like that's a big kind of underlying theme here, actually, that we have, underlying like story arc that we have going throughout the season is those particular types of dragons and how they're a problem.
What I mean, but they are not
you
doing
also
anything.
had the magma breather who was sick with the crystal and wasn't. Well, yes, but they still did stuff with it.
Yeah, no, you're fair. That's fair. Yeah,
what I meant with that, we're not doing anything with that is that, again, so now we have this entire thing of, oh, we know that there are other realms. We know that, some dragons do better there in this realm than that realm. Are we actually going to see that? Well, of course we're not gonna. We have a season 4 to go to.
We do see more of that in this season. It's not as much, but I feel we do see it.
Also might be why Grump is always so tired, because he's not used to the air out of the hidden world. I'm just saying. Connects.
So, and also, of course, this episode has to end with another freaking middle finger, which tells me, I told you last season, Wolf, this is fucking Inferno.
No, that's episode 5. Episode 4 has nothing to do with the crystal sword.
No, episode 5 doesn't end with the cliffhanger to the thing.
No, episode 6 is when he starts working with the sword.
I thought it was 4. Okay.
No, episode 4 is Grunkle's. Episode 6 is because they need the magma from the magma breather.
Could be. Okay.
Yep.
I got confused. Okay, so episode 5, it flies in the family.
Episode 5, we finally involve Eugene in the group now. He is a writer.
I hate him.
And, I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh, he's June's brother. He's definitely going to be riding the other head of Wu and Wei. But no, he gets his own dragon.
And again, this is something I like, that he has his own dragon. But I'll say this. Regardless if you like Eugene or not, that's, an entire debate for different time. But I kind of like the idea that they at least give him a shot and try to make a deal with him. That's like, okay, you want the dragon? Prove to us that you're worthy. Here's the problem. None of these fuckers are worthy. None of them are worthy of their dragons.
Wow.
To me.
Wow.
Alex is worthy.
Okay, Alex, but she's the only one. That's the other thing. She's the only one that actually feels like she earned feathers. And because, again, no matter what you try to do, even if we are going to get to that in a little bit, Tom is not Hiccup. He will never live up to being Hiccup, no matter how much you try.
But
so
again, he's not supposed to be.
I feel like he's been.
It's not a matter of if he's supposed to be Hiccup or not. I mean that in terms of knowing dragons, in terms of having the authority to say we dragon riders do this and this, he is not even an inch worthy to say.
I think you're coming at it from the wrong perspective again, right? I come back to it. I don't want to compare.
Thing, right? It's a perspective.
I don't want to compare, but the problem is that we do have to compare because they're so similar and they shouldn't have been. That's the problem. Like, that's the problem I continue to come back to with a lot of the characters.
Tom has, grown way more apart from Hiccup in this season, definitely.
I think he's getting there, but I think I will say, this is my time to be a little bit more negative again. I think he's not there yet. I think he's still too much like Hiccup and still too connected.
Yeah, fair.
And it's like, I'll say this, like, I think they are trying to get him there, but when you see the kind of stuff that this kid does and the decisions he makes and everything, one, like Wolf said, he's too much like Hiccup. Whether they intended it or not is not the point. The point is, like, he's the one that rides the rare dragon. He's the one that's, a descendant of Vikings. He's the one that's supposedly a little descendant of him, from what we know. So you're just going to think he's the Hiccup. And they also give him Hiccup lines, again, like I said in season 1, take every time he calls Thunder pal, replace it with Bud, you got a Hiccup line there. Like, literally, you can have Jay Baruchel read it and just say Bud at the end. There you go. You have Hiccup. So it's just one of those things. So when he says, like, you need to show that you're worthy, you yourself need to show you're worthy, you little blunt, dumb boy.
Wow.
And
there's
really
some anger
angry.
there. There's some
Yeah,
there's
this is
some
really angry.
there's some like
because
untapped feelings there.
Yeah, but, well, if you're going to recreate one of my favorite movie characters, guess what? I'm gonna freaking keep my eyes on.
HC is a tsundere for Tom.
If they're not trying, they're doing a bad job then.
True, but they're not trying, I feel like.
Again, if they're trying, they're failing at it. If they're not trying, they're failing at that too. There's a fail here in every way you're looking at it. But okay, you know what?
That's all that matters.
About the episode again.
Yeah, so about the episode. I will say, okay, I will give them credit for actually giving Eugene his own dragon. I think of all the spider dragons we had in this franchise so far, this one is the
To be fair, the other two spider dragons can't be ridden, but again, it's 3 spider dragons at this point in this franchise now. But
again, to be positive here, I did
and this
like
was more of a
that
centipede,
design.
not a spider.
I did like this design, and you know something? I kind of believed when they made a connection. I kind of believed.
I agree.
No, but the thing is, why did Eugene need to exist in the first place?
No, that's another debate for a whole other day,
yeah,
right?
No, that's not another debate, because now he's joined the team. Why?
I mean,
that is not another debate.
This is the same back here for season 4, Ian, and season 5, and you're going to be like, Eugene's my favorite character.
Oh, I hate Eugene. I will never like Eugene. He didn't need to be there.
Ian, I'll just say this. If we're going to talk about, okay, now he joined the team, he's part of the main cast, okay, we can talk about why. But in terms of why does he just exist as a character? That's a whole other thing, buddy. So that's something
it's not really. No. It comes back to something. No. To answer Ian's question, why does he need to exist? It comes back to, you remember we had a brother and sister duo in the original. Hey, remember brother and sister here?
No, that can't be the reason, considering they had a whole different dynamic.
Yes,
had a whole different dynamic
right. But I think the idea is their brother and sister. We're trying to remind you of that dynamic, of that original dynamic. Even though this one is different, we're still trying to remind you of it. That is the goal. I think I would say.
Looking
at Eugene, I think that kind of someone to compare him to is actually Heather. In terms of that, he was kind of a side thing for a few moments in the previous season, and now he's joining the team, and he kind of needs to earn their trust, and they need to learn their ways. I guess.
But then he is related to another character. I don't know. No, do you really think that they listen to all the I want to say reviews, criticisms from fans that went, "Oh, you're making it too much like the main franchise," and they were like, "Oh yeah, what we need is a brother to also join to remind them of Rough and Tough."
I mean, to be fair, her brother was already established before the criticism, so.
Oh, was it?
I'm sure, yeah. Her brother, I think, was established in season 1 as she had a brother. We just never saw him.
But it's one of the things. But if we are going to talk about him being part of the team, if I'll say this, if it had to happen, too soon.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He's had some progression of not knowing about Dragon, literally throwing away a notebook, which was I don't know, she's weird. to like seeing one, then connecting the two, then seeing like the firework.
But when I say too soon, though, I mean in terms of like, okay, the previous season we were introduced to him. He was kind of, he was kind of wondering what the whole thing was about. In this season, he sees dragons. He starts kind of like, I want to be on your thing, and then he's just on the thing, like. Okay, for once the show is actually jumping ahead too fast, if you ask me. But
it's just, why did he need to, like, what is his point for joining the series in general? It's just...
I wonder who the 6th writer is going to be.
You think there's going to be a 6th writer?
We had 6 original writers before.
Rough, tough, hiccup, snot loud, fish like Estrid. Oh yeah, damn.
I can count.
I can't, apparently.
So just to kind of talk about this, I think his dragon is cool, and I think their bonding. I could actually kind of buy it. Whatever.
I mean, it's an alright. It's better than, it's like, it's stronger than the previous episode 4, right? Like they went from 3 fairly good episodes to a weaker episode to a stronger episode.
Okay,
Not
necessarily saying that I like Eugene, right? But I buy his connection with his dragon a lot more than I buy Tom's with Thunders. Boom.
I the same amount for me. I mean, honestly, meh. Like he's blocked fire for it once. He's literally seen it like 10 seconds. Blocked fire for it once. Oh, you're my pal now.
You know something? It's more than Thunder did for Tom and Tom did for Thunder. Honestly. Okay, so episode 6. Episode 6. What's its face? Let me see the name again.
Magma comes to the surface.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is, we get like a brief start.
I can describe this episode with one word. Skip.
What?
Skip.
Skip.
Skip. Oh.
That's what HC is saying. And yeah, I guess you can say it that way. I mean, it's again, it's a weaker episode.
Moments.
Yeah, it definitely has some funny moments. There's some moments in this.
I don't know. I feel like this was one of those Race to the Edge episodes where it was just like, we just, they just have an adventure and it's kind of funny.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I like the Race to the Edge cast. I don't really like the people, Alex aside.
Like I do like the gifable moment of Alex just sitting in the hallway of like, I should probably have a look.
That was good, yeah. I also personally enjoyed, Eugene knocking out Buzzsaw, and it's like, say nothing. No one has to know. Funny. Like, that's also personally a gifable moment as well. Like, just commits murder, say nothing. No one needs
I like
to know.
Eugene in this episode more, to be honest.
I like Eugene. He actually also had this moment like where the writers got to keep an eye on the dragons, and he's like, "Okay, I'm watching you, dragons. What are you gonna do?" And they're just like, "Oh well, going to sleep."
I also, and again, it's also fun because like they come back to like, what happened? Nothing. Something totally happened, but we don't have time.
Yeah, but again, no, think about it. Has anyone from the, Eugene's side, has anyone from the main cast have ever even met Buzzsaw?
No, and that's what I love about it, personally.
Still don't know. Yeah, they were so close, and they still don't know.
Yeah, like, what the fuck is this? Like
I mean, Buzzsaw has definitely seen Thunder now.
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, once in like silhouette, and then another time.
Yeah, like he's actually seen him at this point. But I love that.
Yeah,
he's seen
his
them,
face and was horrified because Thunder's face is just an atrocity.
Buzzsaw has seen Alex. Like he's got a glimpse of Alex and June riding, just floating through the air. in the forest. We forgot
Oh, okay,
that scene.
that was funny. That was
That was
funny.
great.
That was fun.
Yeah, remember
Wait,
there's a
which?
scene when Buzzsaw, I forget which episode it's from, but June, and I think it's from
I
the
think it's from-
fireworm nest.
Yeah, I think it's in the final one. Well, like it just see them like riding, feathers who's
Invisible.
Yeah,
And they're not, so they're just floating through the air.
Really?
And
don't
Buzzsaw
remember that.
and Buzzsaw catches a glimpse of them. It's like, hey, am I seeing things? No, you're perfectly sane, he tells to himself. Like, that was actually kind of funny, I thought.
Yeah, that was funny. That was kind of funny.
I don't remember that, but that is funny.
Yeah. So this episode, besides this, you see, we're talking more about the damn B plot, which is nothing but shenanigans. The main plot, I didn't care. Like, okay,
I mean,
this dragon, they need to
the
save
B
them.
plot is the main
No, if
plot.
that- Yeah,
Like,
I think the B plot was the magma. It was more about Eugene becoming part of the team, I think.
Yeah, but
That
that's
was
the thing.
more
That
what it was
the
about.
episode, and you see the episode, but the episode, kind of is named after the magma thing. They're trying to save it. So
I would say our A plot
and the
is
description
trying to
doesn't even
save
mention it.
the magma breather. Our B plot is kind of Eugene dealing with Buzzsaw and trying to become a bit more of the team. And then we have this small, teeny tiny C plot where, we have June with her shield, and now we have Tom, and he's wanting to like make an official silver lightning sword. And we see at the very end they've saved the magma breather, and he's starting to make a sword.
Yeah.
I want to
at
punch someone about this sword.
Ignoring HC
Enough
being
with the
angry for
parallels.
ignoring HC for being angry for no reason. At
Shut
least
up, I have a completely valid reason.
at
I
least
don't
we
know
get
about
to
that.
see him starting it, right? Unlike the armor, right? Like we see him at least starting to work on it, whatever it might be.
You
even if we don't
you
see it
remember
next
the episode. You remember the sword he just picked up out of thin air in the previous season, right?
Yeah, I remember it, but that's the one he's working on, which that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly fine. At least we're seeing it, right? Like we're seeing it in the background. Oh, he's starting it. Now when we see it later, it's like, okay, I remember that he started working on it. Why didn't you do that for the armor? Like there was no reference. If there was a reference to it, we missed it. It was tiny, minuscule.
Yeah.
Well,
I
either
doubt
way,
there was a mention ever. Did they
No,
ever
there
mention
wasn't.
dragon skills at all? Like,
nope. Nope.
even that, they
So-
could have just. Whatever.
So anyway, so that was an episode. It of course had to end with another middle finger to the entire old
You're wrong.
franchise, but
It's
whatever.
fine.
We are on
I
that.
don't mind that one. I don't mind episode 6.
I
It was
do,
alright.
so I'm gonna mention it.
Episode 6
So-
had enough things that made me laugh, so it's cool in my book.
Episode 6 was nice. Yep.
If it wants to say fuck you to the
So-
fans, that's fine. Fuck you, fans.
Well,
Exactly. Half the thing.
So after Nolan North in the
Wing
Deadpool
of
game,
briefcase.
Wolf is officially the other guy ever to say fuck you to himself. Let's remember that.
That's right.
Also,
I
I
start
just want to
beef
say,
with everyone, HC.
talking about, putting up the finger to the fans, Winger be praised.
Winger be praised.
Winger be praised. Anyway,
That's
next
a joke
episode?
no one's gonna get, but it don't matter. Winger be praised. That's all you need to know, audience. Winger be praised.
Winger be praised.
All right. Moving to the final episode of the season, we have episode 7, The Sky Torture.
I
Okay.
loved the design of the Sky Torture. Will admit that was cool.
That I'll agree. That
Really
was a good design.
Also,
And-
it is rated 9.2 out of 10 on IMDb. 5 ratings.
Well, I guess
Apparently.
I guess those 5 ratings were like all the kids who are like,
Well, I mean, the first episode was a 7.7
Oh.
with 6 ratings. So
I think people
I don't
like
know.
this show.
some do, and like again, all the
Of the
power
5
to
who
you.
watch
if
this
you-
show, at least 6 of counting us, that'd be 8 of the 8 people who watch this show. 5 of them definitely like it. I'm middle-ish.
and only one person has actually seen it on Peacock.
Let's again.
Anyway.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in a bit. But if they're making a damn video game out of it, apparently there's an audience. Anyway.
Yeah, episode 7, we get to see the Sky Torture, who's trying to invade the Crystal Realm with like the flamethrowers.
Yeah.
God, I hate that name, but cool dragon.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention the names they've been giving dragons. I get that it's not like Viking-like names, right? It's fair, but like flamethrowers, really?
Flamethrower feels
Yeah,
really...
but apparently they do
You know what?
refer to thunder as a nightlight, which is like.
You know what? I'll give them credit, actually.
I don't think they've mentioned nightlight.
Okay,
No,
okay. You know something? Maybe I'm thinking about the game trailer. Where,
you broke up, HC.
You might have
you
cut
died.
off.
Yeah, you died there.
so can you hear me now? Then?
Yeah, you're good.
Yes.
So I think maybe I'm thinking to the game trailer where Tom calls thunder a nightlight.
Yeah, it might be in the game, but I don't think they've done so in the show. But going back to
we're just gonna
Flamethrower
assume
as a name, briefly.
Yeah.
I'll give them credit, actually, because none of us can come up with names for shit. And if you can come up with names, you're a fucking liar. So the fact that they were able to come up with cool names, that Hiccup and Fishlegs and all the others were able to come up with cool names all the time, they are outliers. They are exemptions to the rule. They are fucking gods in their own right just because of it. That's a power. They are magic.
No, but it's not even them. It's Bolt. Bolt came up with all the names to the dragon.
Not all of them. They've discovered some new dragons that they've given names in Race to the Edge.
Okay, here and there. But
either way, point was the Vikings had superpower. Had the superpower of they can come up with cool names at any point in time.
Of creativity.
Yeah, they had the superpower of creativity. If these kids come up with flamethrowers, you know what? Respect. All right, I get it. Coming up with names is hard.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's why I kind of wish they had like just found like snippets of like the Dragon Book or whatever. Just like
Ian, this episode, the end of it.
Yes, the end of it. Should we go there immediately or just like?
No, we'll get there because there's something I want to talk about.
Oh boy.
Because I both like this idea a lot, and I also hate the execution. So we start with again Tom having kind of second guesses about harming the dragon from the end of season 1. I forgot.
Fault Ripper.
Yeah, the fun. Yeah, exactly. So
like at this point, I just expected it to be a throwaway thing again.
They kind of set up at the first episode of season 2 that he has some sort of like a trauma from it, and then it's never brought up again until now. This is not how trauma works, for one. And if you're going to say, well, the show is blah, 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 a lot of animated shows are doing this, so you know what? I don't think they should necessarily not take note. That's one. 2, okay, they go to find the Fault Reaper, and when they found out he's alive, June tells Tom, like, you see, all of your nightmares and concerns have been for nothing. You do not tell anyone who has trauma or any kind of mental condition that it's for nothing, you dumb bitch.
Okay, but that's the character who says that. That's not on the writers. All right, that's just.
Regardless, I'm just saying, if it was just an oversight because the writers were rushed, okay, fine. But as is, it comes out so damn wrong, and it actually fucked with a concept that I really like. I like Tom actually having to face this, this thing he's not proud of, and actually come to the Fault Reaper. Listen, I'm sorry, but we need to work together now. And the Fault Reaper, is being pretty big, figuratively and literally, and he helps them. And it actually creates a kind of fun climax. And like, okay, cool. Where was this? Where was this episode all of the time? Like, okay.
This episode is definitely what we need more of. Yes.
Yeah. better execution, please. Like, don't say that, trauma was for nothing. Like,
I mean,
maybe
I don't really see it as trauma anyway. I feel like it's just like sometimes he just kind of regrets it. He's just like
maybe it's me overlooking at things, but it came maybe it was what it was.
It's kind of those things that I feel like it was more uncertainty of what had actually happened to the guy. It wasn't necessarily trauma, it was more uncertainty of what actually happened to the Fold Ripper.
And regret,
which is fair,
possibly hurting him.
Regret about that, and just uncertainty. Just kind of want to look up on him. Like, did I actually do what I think I did?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like, either way, though, I think it still worked into, again, another really interesting episode of seeing them try to...
Yeah, but because, the other side, yep. I like the concept. I actually had fun. For once in this damn show, I was having fun.
And it's also interesting from a perspective of it looks like they might be building up like these big dragons to rule over the different realms, right? Which is interesting. Which is an interesting idea, and I'm curious as to where they'll go there.
Yes.
That's another thing, though, because that's another, kind of an interesting thing. Not sure what they're gonna do with it, but obviously, we have. You see the name again because I said, we have the Sky Torture who's kind of like controlling the flamethrowers. What does that mean when it comes to the Alpha? Then is it a Queen of the Nest thing, or is it?
I think
there've been like a century and a half going over this. Century, is that right?
No, it'd be more than that, wouldn't it?
I was about to say a century is 100.
Yeah, that's 100 years.
Yeah, so
that'd be like a couple millennia.
17 centuries, millennia. That's
well,
it.
They say that it takes place, 1,300 years.
17. I thought. Was it 1300?
Well,
either way.
I have.
It's been more than a millennium, but. There might have been changes in the hidden world, to say the least.
Even if there wasn't, you can see these as like the guardians or protectors of their areas, and like if one protector is gone, then the other protector might try and take over another area or stuff like that. Again, like I'm curious if they'll go anywhere. It's interesting to look at it in that way, and I'm curious if they'll do anything with it.
That's why I bring up the Alpha not necessarily because I want it to be toothless, not because of this. But I am saying, what does happen, because for all we know, when it comes to the Alpha, until now we just saw, a dragon beating the previous Alpha in a battle and taking over. So, considering Thunder is a descendant of Toothless, well, what are we actually, and now we have this, we have the torture. What does that actually mean? Like, how does this pass was one defeated? How does this work? That's just something I'm personally interested in. It doesn't mean that I want an answer.
I have a theory for you, HC. I have an answer for you. It's a theory, but I think it's a good one, okay?
I love Wolf's theories.
Knowing Wolf is probably just going to say stop overthinking this. Fuck you. But okay, let's see.
No, this is genuine. I have something good for you.
Back into the hidden world and has eaten Toothless. Anyway,
who went back into the hidden world?
Hiccup went back into the hidden world and ate Toothless.
It was Buzzsaw who went back into the hidden world and ate Toothless.
Oh no! Wow, a millennium ago.
He learned how to time travel just to get the lightning bird.
True. Okay.
To get the initial lightning bird.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
My actual theory, right? My actual here's an actual answer
ridiculous?
For you. Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
What happened was. Toothless saw Thunder. He saw the rest of his kids. Is like, holy shit, none of these kids are like even remotely good enough to be alpha. They're all awful. I'm just gonna set up dragon monarchy. I'm the king, and then here's all of my dukes of my different realms. Boom.
Oh, I hate it. No, That is not what happened.
Is it better or worse than
The thing
Buzzsaw
is-
going back and eating Toothless?
Oh, it's better.
almost.
But still.
I'll say, you know something, Wolf. No,
That's a low bar.
No. I'll say this. It's just as bad as Toothless wanted to get mind controlled. It's in the same freaking ballpark.
Listen,
I
I
mean,
have fun.
the thing is, what I want to say about Thunder as well is he doesn't look as bad as the other seasons. I don't know why I think
Yeah, I
that,
didn't know.
but
He still looks dopey.
I feel
he
like
still looks derpy, but so was Toothless in the series.
Ian, I feel like me and you
not to the
are
same
starting to get
level.
Stockholm syndrome.
No,
Oh,
but,
God.
Toothless in the show did look, worse than in the movies, but like he wasn't this dopey.
Yeah, I still think Thunder does look a bit derpy, even now.
There's definitely some derpy Toothless
But-
screenshots that we got from the
Oh,
series.
absolutely. But I feel like Thunder's there's just this more derpiness to him. Like, I don't know, it's just something about like his head just feels more off. And I don't know if it's the white or if it's like his head is too round. Like, something about it just feels more off than even Toothless did from the series. And the series, again, like, it's definitely lesser quality, but
Wolf, if you are using the season 3 thumbnail, I'll send you, with the Thunder just has this face on it. It's like, I can't look at it.
I mean, I don't know what's actually being displayed, but I'm sure
I think-
it's a magnificent.
I think the
magnificent thing.
worst view of Thunder, genuinely, is from the side. I genuinely would argue like the worst view of Thunder is from the side, because I mean, when you see images of him from the side, he looks more derpy. Like,
whatever
I'm
you
gonna
want
post
to
this in
say.
Discord.
Oh, no.
So we
Maybe,
get to
maybe.
so we have like a pretty fun climax
I
for the episode, and now we get to the 2 teasers. So let's just go over
Boy.
one. Buzzsaw discovers supposedly this, the snow realm.
Wait, no, this happened last.
Yeah, but HC's getting to them in
Okay.
sure. He's covering them in
least-
things that piss him off the most.
The least controversial.
Yeah,
there you go.
Sure.
Because fine, he discovers the snow realm. We are gonna do them, continue.
Oh, wait. Season 4 isn't gonna be about the Fire Realm. I thought we were gonna get 2 seasons per realm.
Don't get your hopes up.
Don't give them too much credit. Don't give them too much credit. We'll have to wait and see. So,
I guess.
but then.
Oh, by the way, no. I have something to say about that. How bad are these researchers when they've just, kind of looked in there, just been like, yeah, just checks out, and then he just fucking discovers what? He just discovers like the hidden world. How have they not seen that it goes into a cave?
Yeah,
They're very good at their jobs. They're paid top dollar.
No, they're there for the paychecks.
Man, I don't blame them. Get your grift, yo. I respect it.
Being, no, I don't blame them. If I was with Buzzsaw, I would get the hell out of there as fast as possible.
I mean, that too, because that man's gonna kill me. I don't know when, I don't know how, but he's gonna kill me and possibly eat me.
That's literally what that CEO, I guess, or like side manager said. Like, go before we get killed.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah.
Like, that man's gonna eat
me. Literally. Yeah. Okay,
anyway,
I mean, fair enough, but still, they're really bad.
Oh yeah, they
job.
are. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, they are terrible at that job. Anyway, suddenly a rock collapses, and what do we see there?
Back to Tom now. Okay.
Yeah, and what do we see under that rubble? And not Dragon Eye.
Not the Dragon Eye.
Did you see how damn
with that.
big this thing is?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
that's
it
another
doesn't
thing.
have the buttons or the lenses.
No, but I mean,
it doesn't have the buttons or
like, it's like a
lenses, so-
dragon
But
scroll, right? It's something.
It's
definitely something scroll-like.
Okay, for the record, saying not the Dragon Eye doesn't mean that it's the Dragon Eye and that's it. No, it's obviously bigger, but it's shaped like it. It looks like it, only green.
So many
It's
cylinder-like things. I mean, that's not something to criticize.
But again, it's one of those things that again you say you can say it's a nitpick, but but at the same time, if you actually worked on the previous shows, people are going to make the connections, make it somewhat different.
What did you want? Like there to be a chest and they open it and that's a cliffhanger.
Actually,
that would have worked.
Yeah, not necessarily a chest, something, but not something that not something that does.
Something cylindrical.
Yeah.
I mean,
how dare you make something cylindrical?
But then again, there's also like this. I think this is gonna help me find my connection with Thunder, and we just see like the Night Fury logo on it, and like cut. It's like, okay, so how much more time until we'll see where the fuck is this going? Oh, probably
if they don't do it first episode season 4, I'm gonna be so fucking angry. I'm gonna be so upset.
HC doesn't want to. We'll try this again.
Yes.
He
HC doesn't.
really don't want to.
Yeah.
I also don't want to have a stroke.
No, I don't. It's a hard time when you're an old man. All right, leave me be.
Oh.
Let me have my stroke.
Okay.
I'm over it now. I'm good again. All right, I'm
I'll
going.
give you your cane.
Thank you. HC doesn't want it to be cylindrical because he wants it to be a square because he too is a square. There. I'm done. I got it out.
No, it's gonna be really funny now if, like, in this cylinder is actually the Dragon Eye. That's gonna be so funny.
No, listen, if this is the Dragon Eye, I'm gonna riot.
I love how you're focusing on the Dragon Eye part. Like, my focus is on why is this thing so damn big? It is half as big as Tom is. Like, it is big.
That's another
why
thing.
is it so big?
That's another thing.
It's like their damn shoes. Why are their shoes so damn big in the first season?
Again, because
they've scaled them down, haven't they?
They have. I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
We don't need more Kingdom Hearts shoes.
Talking about,
but if I may just say, I think it's pretty bad than the entire shit we had about Wolf going down the hole. It's funnier than anything in the Nine Realms. Like Bonan, it's kind of sad, honestly.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, you need coincidences in shows, I guess, but this was just so like undeserved. Just like, oh yeah, they haven't explored.
Again, it was just there. It was just there.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem is that like it's in that random spot. Like it should feel like at the very least something like that. Like I'm using like a lot again. They should find it in. Maybe they should find some ruins of like. Damn it. I'm noticing I'm doing it again now. They should find some ruins, like some old Viking ruins. Fuck me and fuck you too, and fuck this show.
Anyway, Winger be praised.
Fuck the face. Winger be praised. There we go. We're back on it. We're good now.
All right.
They should definitely find some Viking ruins, though, to find something like this in, or just something that feels like that should belong there, not some random hole in the wall, right? That's
I wouldn't have even been
problem.
upset. I wouldn't have even been upset if it is literally at their base. They just missed it, and it was just there.
Yeah, it's like
have that hole open up back where they originally started at, right? That would be fine.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just somewhere where it makes more sense.
It was just random between two realms, I guess, and only because, like, the Fold Ripper did the earthquake thing or the tremor thing, they discovered it. That doesn't. Why? No, that doesn't make sense.
It's just let's say that the more I'm talking about this, the more my head hurts, like trying to figure out why
actually edged it into the freaking shield. They could have just had like, oh yeah, this is weird, like runic things on the shield. Like, so much could be. Or on the spearhead, or on
like, have the items they've been finding connect to something to open this, maybe to get to this. Just
So
connect
far, the
it.
items they found
Do
was
something.
just randomly found. So
Yeah.
far, the items, all of them just randomly found.
It would be nice again, right? Like it's definitely one of those things. It would be nice if there was if they weren't just strewing over the hidden world. As of now, it doesn't make any sense. Maybe they have plans to make it have sense later on. Maybe like they start reading this potential scroll or dragon eye, and they start finding out, oh, some old Vikings left all this stuff within the hidden world in different places for people to find when they came across the dragons.
I mean,
you
the
would
thing
think,
is,
though, the dragon eye, considering it might have some vital information about all the dragons, would be something you'd want them to find first. But who am I to judge?
I mean, also
it's
that
the
was
race
what I
to the
wanted
edge,
to say
kids.
with...
It's Berk. Has Berk ever been smart? No. They made
Absolutely
a
not.
vacation. They made a
Another-
college vacation home on a literal island with a literal active volcano. No one was smart in Berk. No one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely
That
fine.
is very debatable, but okay, let's just
The only
let's just
smart
say
people were the Rescue Rider kids because they made scuba gear.
Absolutely. There we go. I think that's the takeaway. Only Dax and Layla are actually
They are geniuses.
smart.
so there's someone
Yeah,
if
they're
you two
great.
don't shut up.
Oh, what if Dax and Layla went into the hidden world and spread this
boom.
around?
They found the hidden world.
Oh
They
my
did this.
God.
This is
Oh
Layla's
my-
dragon book in scroll
Let's
form.
just-
Crazy. Oh
Let's,
my
You found a
God.
way to connect it
put
all
your secret-
again.
Yes.
Let's
That is
still-
absolutely what happened.
No, it's not, because the Rescue Riders doesn't even seem to be consistent if it wants to be canonical.
No.
No, they did mention.
It's all
They did mention the
connected.
gang
It's
They did
all
mention a gang.
connected.
canonically in the short film. They did mention a gang. All
Well,
the dragons.
they did mention them. It doesn't make it canon. They also mentioned the bewilder beast in the last season, and it doesn't really go anymore.
All connected.
Fine.
We can see the Matrix.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, Wolf and me are
Before-
there. HC, you gotta join us.
No,
We give you
I'm
praise,
not
man.
gonna do
We've cracked
anything.
the code.
Okay, but you know something. Let me actually tell you something that because it does kind of connect. Okay, guys, I'm not joking when I say this does connect to something. So until we find out when season 4 of this is gonna come out and everything, I did mention there's going to be a 9 Realms game coming out at the end of September. September 29th to be exact. So the game is supposedly
29th. I see on Steam. I see 23rd.
either one. So
Release schedule in
Yeah.
different time zones and areas. It'd be like
Yeah,
that.
Like a week.
yeah.
It'd be like
Well,
that
the-
sometimes.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's coming out. It's coming out at the end of September, and that game is supposedly going to be and we're going to see
You
other
cut out there a bit.
Nightlight.
It's supposedly going to be a prequel, you said?
A prequel, yes.
Okay.
A prequel, and we are going to see other nightlights if the trailer is to be believed. We'll most likely cover the game when it's out. I'll try and get it because I did it for Dawn of New Riders.
No, we won't.
But the other thing, like a week after the game, we have another season of Rescue Riders.
Oh my God, seriously? I'm so happy.
Yep. Yep, September 29th. Mark it on your freaking calendars.
September 29th. Oh man, I'm so happy to hear that. That makes my day.
So, anything else then about 9 Realms Season 3?
All in all, pretty decent.
Yeah, like it's the best 9
and-
Realm season so far. I think we can all agree with that, no matter what.
It's the best one, yes, but
that's
it's
a fairly
still
low bar.
it's far away from being even. It's far from me even calling it decent. I'm sorry, it's still not a good show in my opinion, considering what it sets out to do and what it's supposed to be. Not hitting that mark.
I
Not yet,
personally enjoyed this one a lot more. I think it's starting to get into and become more of that thing that I wanted 9 Realms to be. It's getting
Starting
there.
to go the right way. It's starting
And
to go the right way. For
I
sure.
think they're definitely headed in the right direction. And I personally, I'm interested in season 4. I want to see what they do. I want to see,
Absolutely. I want to see it.
I want to see the giant dragon eye and what becomes of that. And I want to
Dragon Eye.
I want to see if they make it smaller in season 4 because that was an accident. It wasn't meant to be that big. I want to see it. I'm curious. I'm a little bit more excited for season 4. Coming into season 3, I was very much meh. Season 4, I'm like, all right, yeah. I'm like,
yeah. If anyone who works on the show is listening to this, just continue this. Do more of this.
You're definitely on the right track, in my opinion.
Yeah,
definitely.
Continue this progress.
Yeah, let's hope that because if things get better from here, then you know what, I welcome. I don't want to be angry at this show. I want to appreciate it.
That's fair.
I went from angry to like mellowed.
I've always been mellowed to.
I don't, because the thing is that I don't want to be angry at this show, but it feels like they're forcing my hand to be angry. So, but I want to say again that this anger doesn't come from me like me being. Me being just like, this is not hiccup and toothless. Blah. It comes from, I want this to be good. I want it to actually be its own thing. But at the same time,
How to Train Your Dragon stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's exactly. I want more How to Train a Dragon stuff. But if it's not good, I'm gonna talk about it because I want it to do better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's a good thing. This is good then.
Yeah, this is a lot better than seasons 1 and 2. Well, yeah, it's a lot better.
I think we both know what I meant, though.
I know what you meant, and I'm going to ignore it. So this was all for this episode of the Berkcast. We hope you enjoyed it. What are your thoughts about the Nine Realms Season 3? What are you excited for in Season 4? Are you on board with the show now, or do you still not care? You can tell us all about it in the comment section below, on our Twitter, which is Berkcast with a capital B, capital C, and on our Tumblr, which is Berkcast Team. Ian, where can people find you?
Really, the coding website, Bath and Bell, I set up, bathandbell.ch. I honestly am not developing that anymore, but you can still submit quotes if you really want to.
Nine Realms quotes are now available.
Nine Realms quotes are definitely not available.
I was just about to say. So until next time, I was HC.
I was Wolf.
And it was Ian.
And we will see you all next time. Take care.
Bye-bye.